It's the Sleepers Podcast, episode 2 this week. Shout out to a couple people, by the way. I'm going to call them out. Andrew Whitney was texting me saying, we need to do 2 episodes a week. So here we are, doing 2 episodes a week during the biggest month of the college basketball season. Hope you listened to our Matt Costello, Michigan State episode. Hope you listened to this episode featuring Drew Valentine, assistant coach at Loyola-Chicago, the Ramblers, to prep you about the best mid-major team in the country. But what you're really here for may be this face on the other end of the call right now, which is Carter Elliott. How are you, Cart?
It's only fitting we have a 2-episode week in honor of the number of losses that Michigan has taken in the last 3 games, which is 2, if you were wondering. Go green, go white. Let me hear you. It might be dark, but let me tell you, the palm trees are still here. I'm living and my team's winning. I can't be beat. Gregory.
Oh my God. Look, it's such a good change of pace that you're happy, that you're energized. It's been such a long year.
I'm dancing. My ticket is punched. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just funny to me that in the month of March during college basketball, a team would willingly lose a game. It just doesn't seem something that I would think to do.
You just lost by 30 to Michigan. Literally this week, earlier.
You're only as good as your last game, Greg. All right? And my last game says we're better. We're winners.
Just don't forget where you came from, Card. That's my warning to you. That's all I want you to know. Don't forget those sleepless nights where you lost by 24 points to Northwestern and Foster Lawyer played 25 minutes. Don't forget those nights. Don't forget the player-coach meetings where Rocket Watts asked to be moved to the bench and then asked to be reinstated into the starting lineup and then asked to be moved to the bench again and then asked again to be reinstated to the starting lineup and then finally asked one last time to be replaced on the bench.
Hey, the Clarkson stock in minutes goes down and the production and wins rises.
Hey, assistant coach Foster Lawyer is getting a lot of love these days.
Correlation is there. Foster, take your time. No rush. Heal up.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling good. Do you want to tell the people about the new sleeper shop that is live?
So, we of course, we had to order ourselves some Sleepers gear and, has been sending out some gear to some people, some supporters, out of the genuine love of our hearts for people who watch this. We really appreciate everyone who does that, of course. And, a lot of people have been asking if they can get some gear. And, we listen to the people. We're a podcast for the people. So you guys wanted a shop? We have a shop. We got beanies. We got hoodies. We got shorts. We got, don't you worry about it. We have a All My Homies Hate Dan Dockage t-shirt. Yes, we have it in the store. The link is on our Twitter and our Twitter bio at Sleepers Media. Go check that out. Go grab some gear. It's going to be, the hottest thing out. The weather's starting to break a little bit. I heard it's going to be in the 60s in Michigan. You know what I'm saying? We're getting in that territory. White people probably been wearing shorts for a little while now, but everyone's going to start wearing shorts and short sleeve shirts for a while now. Go to the sleeper store and grab your gear. We got y'all. It's fire.
I think that's the hardest I've laughed at anything you've said on this show. I've been wearing shorts for 6 days.
As soon as that sun peeks out, it don't matter if it's 39. The shorts, the kneecaps are showing.
Oh my God! But in all seriousness, I'm assuming most people know this, but Carter and I, we have day jobs. Carter's working. He brought the work computer down to Florida, even while he's in paradise celebrating wins. He's running a business. He's what? You're running the operations at the shop. That's what you do. Running the sales team, directing some people.
Vice president of sales.
That's what you do. VP me. You can't VP me. I'm director. I'm not VP.
Hey, the director. El director, the uno, singular director.
But listen, we have day jobs, folks. We don't make money off this sleepers thing until maybe now when we open the sleeper shop. We send a lot of free samples out to people and early supporters. And if you got one of those, you should feel very special and know that we love and appreciate you. And we may send some more free things out to other people that didn't get in on that first batch that are longtime listeners that deserve it, but would love it. If you want to show love and you want to financially support the Sleepers in any way, we would appreciate that. The best way to do that would be through the Sleeper Shop. And you also get like a sick beanie or joggers or whatever you want. Hooded t-shirt. I might recommend that.
Yeah. And also, if we are recommending gear, I got a pair of the joggers. The joggers are fire. The beanie is definitely a favorite of mine too. I'll personally be ordering myself some, and you already know I got all my homies hate Dan Dockett shirt already on the way, already being delivered.
Yeah, get your all my homies hate Dan Dockett shirt ordered in before we get a cease and desist from Dan Dockett.
Until Dan Dockett comes to our door, which he doesn't want to do.
No, he definitely doesn't.
I literally got hands for him.
So we're gonna do the Drew episode that's recorded. That's gonna be the second half of the podcast. As usual, we get into everything you need to know about this year's Loyola team. Some great memories and comparisons between the 2018 Loyola Final Four team and this year's version. We of course had to ask him about Sister Jean. We had to ask him about his favorite Drake song, favorite Drake album. So Drew is a great listen, great interview, and more importantly, a great friend, not to get emotional, but a longtime supporter of both Carter and I individually, and just a good ass person. So enjoy that interview. That's on the back half of this. But first, Carter, you just told me before we actually got on this Zoom call that I am the king of stupid hypotheticals.
Yes.
I
didn't say stupid. I said king of hypotheticals.
I have a stupid hypothetical for you.
Okay.
I want to go through a little exercise about college hoops leading into March, and I'm going to put you on the spot here. So I know you're a talented man. You'll come through in the clutch. I want us both to come up with a wish list that includes 3 things that if we could have any wish come true from now to the conclusion of the NCAA tournament within realistic possibility, what would those 3 things be? So I'll give you some time to think. Let's alternate here. I'll go first and then you go, and then we'll go back and forth.
Okay.
Again, I would like to urge you. You've been Mr. Practical this year. I give you a lot of credit for that. Historically, you haven't necessarily been rooted in reality with some of your basketball opinions, but this year you've been.
Rooted in reality is the way he puts it.
I give you credit. So number 1 on my wish list, I'll get right into it. I want to see Gonzaga lose. And that's no hate, but I'm at the point with guys on Twitter, with our colleague Sean, who comes in the locker rooms with us, where people who I don't even think are legitimate Gonzaga fans are now basically repping Gonzaga like there's no question they're the best team of all time. And that it doesn't matter what conference you put them in, they'd be undefeated. And they're just so much better than any college team the world has ever seen. I want to see Gonzaga lose. I believe they're the best team in the country. I believe they're historically great. I don't believe they're that much better than other teams we've seen in the last decade. And as we speak, Cart, no offense, BYU just took a 31-19 lead on this Gonzaga team in the West Coast Conference Championship.
Uh-oh. Well, that's not good. Does my wish list have to be in order, or can I just say 3 wishes?
You can say 3, but let's alternate. Let's go one at a time. That was my first.
All right, I got you. And also, if Gonzaga did play in the Big Ten, they would not be undefeated. And that's no shade because I think Gonzaga is a good team, but, playing in a league where you got to play really good teams night in and night out, you're bound to slip up.
But key part that you just said, it's not shade. Like,
it's not. It's
Gonzaga fans are like this hive on Twitter that I don't think have ever watched high major college basketball. And like they get mad because it's like, oh, you've never seen Gonzaga play.
They don't get any channels outside of Spokane.
Yeah. Like, have you ever watched a Big 12 game this year? Like, have you seen
they're going to be on our ass for this too.
Yeah, they can be. That's fine. But like, it goes 2 ways. Like, if you're going to accuse people, oh, you haven't seen Gonzaga play, like, I don't think you've watched enough Big 12 or Big 10 basketball if you really think Gonzaga would run through those teams, because all that I've heard from Gonzaga fans is how deep that conference was. And, put some respect on St. Mary's team, the St. Mary's team that hasn't been able to score 50 points in the last 2 games that I've watched. Right. But please tell me the team right now that's down double digits almost halftime to BYU would run the table anywhere. Stop it.
Yeah. So my wish is I want Houston to get to the Final Four.
Ooh,
That,
I like
that
that.
I think that'd be up there for me.
You want to elaborate on your love for this Houston team? You kind of already have, but
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing it on the pod all year, but I'm still a huge Houston fan. They've had some slip ups as of late. I think people have kind of jumped off the bandwagon, but I love Quentin Grimes, love Sasser, Giroux. Uh, Gorham is one of the best offensive rebounders in the country. Like, no bullshit. I've never seen anything like this dude on the offensive glass. Like, you can box him out. You can try. He's going to get the offensive rebound. If they miss, they get it back. They are, I think last time I checked, they're second in the country in offensive rebounding next to UNC. And UNC plays 5 7-footers at once, which is probably why they lead the league in offensive rebounds. But Houston just goes extremely hard. I think they got a team for March with the guard play. They got what I look for in teams that make Final Four runs. So I'm still a believer in Houston. So I do want to see a Final Four run out of them.
I like that. Okay. Number 2 for me.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to get a little personal. Again, I'm kind of coming after the fan bases I have problems with right now, but I want to see the Illinois Fighting Tough Guys lose in the round of 32. I don't think it's not realistic enough to say they get upset early, and it's not specific enough to say they get upset somewhere along the way. I want to see this Illinois team fail to reach a Sweet 16. And I think it's possible. I think if they draw the wrong 8 seed, there are some questions with this Illinois team who's riding real hot right now and is talking a little bit out of their shoes.
Okay. Not mad at that. Not mad at that. My second would be somehow Memphis sneaks in the tournament and beats Michigan, and the Penny versus Juwan takes come flying. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Rooted in reality. Rooted in reality.
Rooted in reality.
Rooted in reality.
That was on the verge.
And this is a homer pick. So some Michigan State stuff coming. I need Michigan State to make it past that first weekend. I need at least Sweet 16. And it's going to be tough because if we do somehow end up in that 8 to 9 range, that means that, we could have a Gonzaga or a Baylor, playing next. But I need that. I want that.
I mean, what's the most likely recipe for that even at this point? Like I don't think they're getting higher than an 8 seed. Catch like a 10 seed and what's a 2, like Villanova without Gillespie?
Yeah, it's a wish, so I don't really think it's. You said it's a wish list, so just let me wish.
I'll let you wish. Okay, that's fair. Fine. Let me go to my homer pick then. I would like to see Michigan in the Final Four with both Baylor and Gonzaga. I want to see this Michigan team healthy against the best of the best. Because when Michigan was healthy and when they were playing their best basketball this season, I still stand by the fact that they were on the same tier as those two teams. And while they are nowhere near it right now, this last week has been horrible when Eli Brooks got hurt. I want to see it. Preferably that path would be Baylor first and then Gonzaga in the national title. And that's the dream.
And last for me, I don't know if this will please you, but I want the game that we were robbed of earlier in the year.
Oh,
I want to see Gonzaga Baylor face off.
I mean, if Michigan's out, I agree. I think like without my Illinois and Gonzaga-ish hate takes, one of mine was going to be I want to see 4 1 seeds in the Final Four. Like of all years, normally I'm rooting for upsets and chaos. This is a year where like I wouldn't mind seeing the best of the best square up.
Yeah.
Okay, so say we get that. Who wins?
Man, like I would have said Gonzaga so easily, but God, that fan base has really rubbed me the wrong way. I'm serious.
I got my answer, and it doesn't have anything to do with fan base. I think it's Baylor.
You think it's Baylor?
I think if Baylor plays their best game, they're a better team than Gonzaga. I really do. Because I have questions about how Gonzaga defends at the highest level. Case in point, this half against BYU. Like Matt Harms is just destroying them right now. It's Matt Harms.
That's true. That's bad. You're letting a 7-footer with a comb over cook you. That's not ideal.
It's not pretty.
Not pretty. But I would roll with Gonzaga.
Okay. You just think Gonzaga's ceiling is that high if they play their best?
Yeah, I think they have more pros.
They do have more pros.
Yeah, they have more pros to me. So, yeah, I'm rolling with Gonzaga.
Okay. Well, thank you for engaging in my little hypothetical game. Let's get
It wasn't stupid, by the way. It was a good hypothetical.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. True kindness. I'm just not used to you giving true praise to me without some sort of slanderous,
I feel like I should because I feel bad for you because your team's are losers.
Enjoy it while you can. That's
I
all.
will. You don't have to tell me to enjoy it while I can. If you haven't been able to tell, I'm enjoying it
while you can.
This smile has not been present on this podcast in this capacity for this long.
It has.
This is a happy cartel.
Hey, soak up them Florida sun rays because, every trip has to end. Every vacation comes to a close. You have a flight home tomorrow. Michigan State has a bus trip to Indy later this week. And we'll see if the good vibes are still rolling when they get there.
Boy, you might not want to record with me if we win that game and then play y'all next and we get y'all again. Ooh.
Maybe I can get you to actually do a little live podcast with me. We were supposed to do a Michigan State drinking game, but Big Flo Rida had other plans.
The next one I'm in. No ducking.
I think if they play Friday, it's an 11 a.m. game on a work day.
I'll call work off.
Oh, yeah, I forgot VP.
Actually, I probably shouldn't say that.
All right. Hit the sleeper shop. Enjoy the interview with Drew, and we will be back after Selection Sunday. Today's episode of the Sleepers Podcast is brought to you by Gonzaga fans who claim that their team would go undefeated no matter what conference they're in, yet failed to accept the fact that they are down 10 to BYU with 5 minutes left in the first half. Cart, tell us about those Gonzaga fans.
You know what? I got the perfect place for those Gonzaga fans, and that is on the Locker Room app. The Locker Room app is the new hot app that you need. If you are a sports fan and you don't have the Locker Room app, take your left hand, slap yourself in the face. That's not okay. But you can fix that. Go to the App Store, download the Locker Room app. They have rooms going on in there all the time. You can connect with other sports fans. You can talk about, Gonzaga fans being out of line. You can get with other Gonzaga fans and talk about other fans saying you're out of line. You can talk about anything on this app. They have other fans on here, sports personalities, NBA players, college players. Everyone's on this app. I got it open right now, and they have a bachelor room. They have a Houston Rockets room, a trivia room, NFL free agency, Cowboys, a Spider-Man is trash ? Room. I mean, they got all types of topics on here. It's free to download. It's dope. And you can also catch the sleepers on there weekly for our college hoop show. So, there's no way you shouldn't have this app. You already should have had it, but let's get it now. The time is now. Download Locker Room.
Carter, what do Andre Iguodala, Bam Adebayo, Robbie Hummel, Mark Titus, and me have in common? We're all on the Locker Room app.
Damn it. I thought it was something stupid, like you all got the same golf handicap or something.
No, we're just all on the Locker Room app, but thanks for trying to get there for me. Anyways, you can find people like those people I just named on the list on the Locker Room app. Carter and I are there once a week. And the Locker Room app is just cool people talking sports. Great place to be. Great time to find it right now as we head into March Madness and the NCAA tournament. Please download the Locker Room app and keep supporting the Sleepers and keep an eye out for the Sleepers on the Locker Room app. Back to the Sleepers Podcast and an interview with Drew Valentine.
Here.
All right, welcome back to the Sleepers Podcast. We got a family friend, a friend of the show on the show today, Mr. Drew Valentine of Loyola, the Ramblers. You probably know him from a couple years ago if you're just generally tuning into March Madness. But if you really know college hoops, you know this year's Loyola team is not to be messed with either. So, Drew, what's going on, man?
Man, you guys are absolutely killing it. You guys know how big of a fan I am of what you guys are doing, and appreciate you guys. It's an honor to be on the show with you guys for sure.
Long time coming, man.
It's been a long time coming, man. I've been wanting this and needing this for a long time. So
I'm about to say, hey, for y'all that don't know, me and G, we go way back with Drew. Me and Drew are undefeated in Greg Grant men's basketball league, 3-year champs.
3 years, man.
Hey, so
we got banners up, man. We got banners up.
So we, I played against Drew a couple times in college when he was at Oakland. We known each other for a minute now. So, it's been crazy to watch Drew's journey. You know what I'm saying? Now he's with the Loyola Ramblers, cooler by the lake, all the phrases like that. So, we had to get him on the pod.
Yes, sir, man. Appreciate y'all. Y'all always, showed me love and support. So I appreciate it all for real.
Always.
Have to. And what better time to do it than leading up to the tournament? So we're recording this on a Tuesday night. We'll probably put this out, I'm thinking like Thursday, a couple days before Selection Sunday. But the good news is the Ramblers have already clinched their bid. Not that they even needed to clinch their bid, but they went out in style, get that conference championship banner in the rafters. And I'm sure you know this, Drew. You guys are in the top 10 on KenPom right now.
Yeah, it's insane to me. Like, I mean, from when I took this job, like 4 years ago, just seeing to where the amount of growth that it's, went through over the past 4 years has just been insane to me. And the fact that, we're, ranked in the top 10 in KenPom and in the NED and 18 in the AP poll, like, our program is really headed in a crazy direction. And I'm blessed to be a part of it, and it's just been like a confirmation of the hard work that I've always believed in my whole life. It just pays off, and it's just crazy, man. Top 10 KenPom. I knew I told you guys before the year I thought we were going to be pretty good, but I didn't know we were going to be this good.
So
I feel like you guys are, I'm saying, you've done a good job of. We talked about on past podcasts. There's a lot of teams that peak early. I feel like y'all are doing a good job. It's just been a steady incline throughout the year. You're just getting better and better, and that's what it's about, because you want to be playing your best basketball when it gets to March.
For sure, man. No question.
So I want to take you back to when you first took the Loyola job, because knowing you personally, I remember like we'd watch you at Oakland for a couple years and you were in the state, and then you jumped to Loyola. And I remember talking to you that summer where you were like, some people are acting like this is a lateral move, but like they don't realize what Loyola is about to do. And like me being your boy, like I heard you say that, I'm like, yeah, you're right. But at the same time, I knew nothing about Loyola. I'm like, this is just some random Chicago school. And then obviously the run happens immediately after you get there. You clearly knew what you were talking about and that there was something special in store. But I guess when you showed up at campus and started working with those guys, how quickly did you realize that there was something special on hand?
So when I, came here for my interview and just was around Coach Moser and the staff and just felt their energy and felt their passion and, watched them, we watched some film and, talked to X's and O's about, different things. I'm like, man, these guys are just high energy. They're hardworking. They're, committed. They're, doing things the right way. And so then I took the job, and then I started to, meet the players and get to know them and start working with them on an individual basis. And then I was like, okay, these dudes are, they're skilled, because, in the summer, your first couple, weeks are, mostly skill, individual stuff, not as much team stuff. And then we started doing team stuff about a couple weeks in, and I'm like, man, like the culture here was just ridiculous. Like the way in which the staff and players interacted with each other, the way in which the players interacted with each other, the respect that everybody had for one another, the, camaraderie, the brotherhood. I was just like, man, it's just a different vibe over here. And then, as we got closer to the season, I'm like, man, we got a chance to do something special, because we had a veteran team, a couple guys. We ended up being picked preseason number 3 in the league. And then we had some couple guys preseason all league, and, just a really good group of players. And then we actually scrimmaged Northwestern, who was, I think that was the year when McIntosh and their senior year, like that, when they were like preseason, whatever. And I could probably talk about it now, but it was a close scrimmage. And I think we were up like 20 points in the first half on them.
Wow.
And I'm like, all right, yeah, this is special. And then we went on along that year to, win at Florida, who was number 5 in the country coming off. I think they had just beaten Duke in that Phil Knight deal out there in Oregon. And just a bunch of different times throughout the year, I'm like, yo, we got a chance to do something special here. And yeah, man, that's kind of how I knew.
That's just a crazy first year run right there. But I think that kind of points to, I mean, I think people sometimes overuse the word culture a lot, but like having a culture within a basketball team, within a program is really so important. And that's something that you mentioned. You were able to kind of see that culture forming and kind of the direction it was going in. And, like I said, people can overuse the word culture sometimes, but it's very important when you're establishing a good basketball team. I think people who play basketball can speak on that as well. But, culture is really important. If you don't have a good one, then it don't really matter if you putting the ball in the hoop. Sometimes it ain't going to work out, even though I do say it's all about putting the ball in the hoop. Sometimes there's some other factors in there.
Right. No question, man. This, working for Coach Moser, I've really learned that, there's, a different way. You don't have to do it, a certain kind of a way. There's, what I've kind of, learned here is you got to just be yourself, and you can, make your program the way in which you want to make it. And, if you believe in it, if you put your heart into it, if you, surround yourself with the right people that have the same vision and have the same values that you have, you're going to have success. And that's what we do here. And, the work that we do with, background information and getting to know people in the recruiting process, and, with the staff changes that we've made, getting to know those people as well. It just seems like everybody has a common goal, and that's to win. And I think that's why we've been able to do what we've done here and been, most importantly, able to sustain it, because, I think getting there once is hard, but I think sustaining it is extremely hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what we've shown that, we're doing here and going to continue to do here.
So this year's team, you got a bunch of good players. You've got depth, I would say, is a strength of your team. You've got guys in the backcourt that I love watching hoop, Marquise Kennedy, Braden Norris, to name a few. But you've also got 2 guys who were around for that run that first year, in Lucas Williamson and Cameron Krutwig. And I think a lot of people are going to remember Krutwig. If they've tuned out from you guys for a couple of years, they're going to be like, that dude's still around right now, the dude that was giving people problems a couple of years ago. But can you talk about what your early impressions of those 2 were like when you showed up, and then how they've developed into what they are now?
Yeah, man, they're 2 of the best people I've ever been around, and, not just basketball players, but people. First of all, Krutwig, when I first got here, actually on my interview, he was actually, coming up to campus, like moving in or something that day. And I met him. I'm like, man, this kid he was huge, because he hadn't gotten to the weight room yet. So he was, 290, 295, something like that. I'm like, man. And then, coach was like, I'm telling you, that kid's going to be special. And I remember, like, after one of our first summer practices, I went up in the office, and, Coach Moser was like, Drew, what you think? Like, I said, man, Cam Krutwig is going to be an All-American. I said, he's going to be freshman of the year. Like, I just started going off, and he's like, whoa, calm it down. I was like, he was, I'm 26 at the time. I'm still young, but he's just like, man, you're 20. Like, and then I remember my first exhibition game, we played Lewis at home in the arena at Gentile Arena. And my parents came down for the game. And literally my dad, the first thing after the game, my dad said, Cam Krutwig is going to be an All-American. Like, that's what my dad said. So kind of always knew with him. I've been around a lot of people with high IQ and good feels, but he's the number 1 of all time as far as IQ and feel. I mean, just the way that he sees the game. I mean, he's truly a coach on the floor. His communication skills on the floor are elite. Both ends of the court. I mean, he gets it. He's mature, and love coaching him, can get on him hard. And, that's why he's so good. He's humble. And then Lucas, man, Lucas was one of those guys that, he's a glue guy from day one, right? Like, you knew, like, he was tough. He could make shots. And he worked hard, man. He lives in the gym, man, as much as, like, my brother, Bryn, like Travis Trice, like Tum Tum, like how much those guys, Josh Langford, how much those guys live in the gym, like the Michigan State guys, like Lucas is cut from the same cloth. And from the time he got on the campus, it was just me and him. grinding 6 a.m., 7 a.m. Like if we had basketball camp at, starting at 8, he hit me with the text the night before, the text that I hate, but I love, hey coach, can we get some work in before camp? So then you got to wake up that extra, and I'm like, Luke, man, why are you doing it to me? But, he it's crazy because the first game of the year, like he only played like 2 minutes of the Final Four year of his freshman year. And then he was barely playing. And then Ben Richardson broke his hand. And then his first game, I think he had like 13 points. And then he kind of just took off from there because he was prepared for the moment. And I think that's one thing that, Lucas has always done. He's always prepared for the moment. He never shies from the moment. And, he's turned himself into one of the best defenders in the country. And I think it's honestly a shame that he's not I know, there's like National Defensive Player of the Year awards, and I think there's like 5, semifinalists or whatever it is. But to me, it's a shame that Lucas Williamson's not in there because, I mean, the dude is so versatile. He is, so committed. I mean, he guards point guards, he guards fours, he guards wings. I mean, Tyreek Key, one of the best scorers in our league on Saturday. He held him to 11 points, and then he turns back around and guards Joe Yesufu, the hottest player in our league for Drake on Saturday. A 5'9" guard and a 6'3" guy the day before. I mean, he's just so versatile. And I know he won Defensive Player of the Year in our league, but I think he's one of the best defensive players in the country. But to answer your question, man, they're both amazing guys, and I'm lucky that I get to be their coach.
Yeah, and if Cam's got the Coach V stamp of approval, that's a stamp y'all need. If y'all don't know Drew's dad, man, that dude he's classic, but he knows his hoop, man, like no other. And if you got the stamp from him, then that's you certified. Then
yes, certified, man. When he said that, I'm like, oh yeah, that's all I needed to hear, man. I'm like, yeah, I'm in the right spot.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was kind of in the middle of the first year. I was asking about your team too, and you're like, I'm telling you, like, it's gonna sound bad when I say it, but he really is a baby Jokic.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow, that's saying something because this is when the Joker's like doing his thing. He's like coming onto the scene, and then I watched him play, and like you really see it. He really does play like a baby Jokic. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. He's ridiculously skilled. I mean, obviously we play a ton through him, at that 3-point line with, 4 guys around him that are all guards, and we're all cutting, moving, dribble handoff stuff, ball screen stuff. But he just got such an instinct to make those passes. I mean, it's stuff that you don't teach. I mean, like, a lot of the things that we do, like, can't nobody else do in the country because they just don't have the feel or the ability that he has. And Cam's just a special dude, man. And I think he's, really just elevated his game every year, kind of added something new. And, he's just an incredible passer.
Are you a supporter of the Cam mustache?
I mess with it, dog. I mess with it, man. Like, I'm all for like creating your brand. You know what I mean? Like, whatever you got to do, man, to create your brand, I am with it. And, the way that he plays in his mustache, I mean, it just all goes together. It flows, man.
Brand.
Yeah.
It fits his game. And I mean that in the nicest possible way. Like, he's this dude with this really pretty high level vision, like a skilled big, but he's just got the junkyard dog stash. I love it.
Man, he got the biker stash. So but it's crazy because he loves like 80s basketball, and that's kind of the look that they used to have back then.
Oh yeah, so it definitely fits the brand, man.
Yeah, for sure, that's his brand.
So I briefly mentioned the KenPom love you guys have been getting. Not only are you top 10 on KenPom, you are the number 1 rated defense in KenPom's system, which is no small feat. I mean, historically over the last decade, that almost always goes to the best of the best Virginia pack line defenses. Occasionally Wisconsin's been up there. I think Michigan's been up there when Yaklich was at Michigan for a couple of years. Michigan State's always up there. But I don't think I've ever seen a mid-major team up there at the top of the top. So, and I looked more into it because I've obviously followed you guys since you've been there. And I've never, honestly, I don't think I've ever noticed how good your defense has been. I think like that first year, I kind of just assumed you guys were a really skilled team that was really smart and played together, but it was more of like an offensive thing. And I couldn't be more wrong. You guys have consistently graded out super highly on the defensive end. So is that something that is part of Porter's just scheme? Is that something you guys game plan for, or is it something else that's contributed to you guys being so good on that end?
Yeah, it's definitely what we do, man. It's the culture, man. I know, like you said, man, it's overused, but our culture, a huge piece of it is the preparation, man. And we're really detailed with our scouting, different things that we do defensively to try to take you out of your stuff, try to, cause turnovers. I don't know what we are as far as like steal rate or, causing turnovers, but that's always something that, without pressing, with us just being a half court defensive team, we're always near the top of our league in steals. And we try to, create, offense with our defense to play, in transition and play a little faster that way. And it's crazy because on Campom, it talks about like your average possession length, like defensively. And like our possession length is always so high because we always, do a good job of, game planning and taking people out of their stuff. But as much as, we would, want to take credit for it as coaches, it's the players, it's their buy-in, it's their belief in, it's the pride that they take in it, because they're the ones that got to go out there and execute the game plan. And they really believe in it. They, take pride in it. And, every single team that we're going up against, they're, always asking hella questions like, what does this guy do? Or, hey, can we, like, especially like with like the Krutwigs and Lucases, guys that have been in it for a while. Hey, I think we can do this on this play. Can we, ice the ball screen on that side? Can we go under that guy? Can we, just the suggestions and the things that we can do, especially because we've got, like you said earlier, we've got a really veteran team. So we can do a lot of different things and kind of change up how we play defensively, game by game. And our guys just take a ton of pride in the preparation and going out there and executing the defensive game plan.
Yeah, gotta make sure you lock up. You got the greatest scouting. You got the greatest scouting report in the world. It don't mean shit if you go out there and people don't buy into it. I've seen that way too many times before.
Exactly, and it also helps when you got Lucas and Hiruwak too. He's super versatile defensively. I mean, he's a menace. Them two dudes, they just cover up so much stuff with their intensity and their ability. So,
man, I actually wanted to ask about him because his improvement this year has been crazy. Is he just like one of those hard workers as well? Because I think he's really come on this year. I mean, last year I don't think he made as big of an impact as he has this year. But I feel like he's just gotten crazy better throughout the whole season.
Well, I got to give a shout out to my guy Jermaine Kimbrough. He spends a lot of time with with film and working him out on the floor and getting his mind right. And also Coach Moser as well, just with the belief that he has in him. Coach Moser believes in him to have him on the floor. And I think Jermaine has helped him, really develop his skills and his confidence. And here's just, he's a hardworking dude. He lives in the gym. I think I've, tweeted it a bunch of times, like hard work is undefeated. And here's a guy that lives in the gym. And then also, man, he's played in so many games now, right? Like he won a league championship in 2019 with Custer and Marcus Towns that year, the year after the Final Four. We won the Valley regular season. And then last year he played, a ton of minutes. And then this year he's older. He's a fifth-year guy. He's got an extremely high IQ as well, a great feel on the defensive end. And, it cares. He wants to win. And then, like you said, he stays in the gym. But it was awesome to see him make third team all league because he's a really deserving guy and also made the most improved team in our league too. So definitely proud of him.
Hey, Loyola boys well represented in the Missouri Valley Conference Award. I love that.
Yes, well
deserved.
No question, man. I think team success that equals the individual stuff, and that's the culture, right? Like just come in here, buy in, like. Lucas averaged 8 points a game, made second team all league. Here made average 8 points a game, made third team all league. Like, Braden Norris averaged like 7 and 4 assists, but made all newcomer team. Like, you ain't got to have the best stats to get noticed for, being a good player. And, our guys, again, they really believe in it and they buy into it.
It's special. So last time you guys had the big run, a little behind the curtain here. Obviously Carter and I watch college hoops. We stay tuned in. We know the teams around the country for the most part. I remember Selection Sunday. I texted you within minutes after that draw and was just like, this is the best draw we could have asked for. No shots at specific teams, but I remember just seeing that like, oh my God, this is wide open for Loyola. And I think like you caught everybody by surprise that year. Obviously, I think you 11 seed that year, right?
Yep, 11 seed.
So this year there's got to be some different expectations, maybe some extra pressure from people, because no one's going to be caught by surprise by this Loyola team. How does that change your mentality going into Selection Sunday and going into next week?
I think it's two things. For one, it gives you confidence. It gives our players confidence. They've beaten, Power 5 teams over the years. They've shown, that they can compete on that level. And, with Lucas and Krutwig, guys that have done it before, leading the young guys, I think it, creates a sense of, confidence that you can, advance in the tournament. But I think one thing that we talked about today, specifically as we got back with our team, was we're not, the way that we kind of do things is just a process. It's a process driven thing. The way that we, go about each and every day, each and every scout, each and every, drill that we, do, it's just all about the process. And, you can't advance in a tournament if you don't take care of business the first game. And I think, we're just worried about, or once Selection Sunday comes, we'll be worried about the first team that we're playing. And then just take it from there, man. Just lock in, give everything we got mentally, physically, emotionally to that first one. And if we're lucky enough to come out on top, then we'll, switch our minds to the next opponent. But can't get too far ahead of yourself. You got to just lock in on the first one, because that's kind of just the way that we do everything here.
And you know what? I feel like, speaking of what your point as well, Greg, I feel like people are always, it's kind of lazy in this year in 2021 to sleep on mid-majors, because like, hoop is hoop. If you watch hoop, then hoop is hoop. So, even with Loyola being a top 25 team, someone's always going to kind of fall back on the, okay, yeah, but they're a mid-major type of thing. Can you kind of speak about like why people kind of, even in today's day and age, kind of look down on the mid-major programs?
I just think because of, the traditions of some of the better programs, the recruiting piece that, the top players go to the, the best schools, the blue blood type of programs. I think it's just, like you said, it's just a traditional, I'm not going to say lazy, even though I might be thinking that in the back of my head. But it's more of just a traditional way of thinking, that certain schools have to have the best talent, that certain schools have the best coaches, that certain schools, that certain conferences play the best ball. And, I think it's been proven over time that isn't always necessarily the case. And, I think there's a ton of, guys, across, the professional ranks, whether it's the John Morants, the Steph Currys, the Dame Lillards, CJ McCollums, that are kind of proven that, you don't have to, be at a certain place to be a really good player. And there's different teams, like our 2018 Loyola team, that have shown that you don't have to come from the best, quote unquote, best conference to be one of the best teams in the country. And I think that's, Cart, to answer your question, just the traditional way of thinking.
I say there's a lot. Speaking of that, there's a lot of blue bloods at the Selection Sunday are going to be shit out of luck, by the way. So,
hey, not your team, Cart. Not anymore.
Not my team. We got our ticket punched. Thanks, Greg. At your expense.
Just wanted to remind you, this is the week of Cart, man. Maybe the month of Cart.
It honestly is the month of Cart. I was born this month. My team got their ticket punched. I mean, I got palm trees. Like I said, I got palm trees in the background. I'm living, team winning. I'm doing all right.
Well, we love to see you happy, big guy. Hopefully that extends for a couple more weeks. We'll see. So, Drew, one face that's I believe I've seen him on your bench in a couple games this year is a face that I recognize from 2018 that I think a lot of casual fans would also recognize, and that's Mr. Clayton Custer. point guard, hit some big shots for you in that tournament and that entire season and his whole career at Loyola. And I had no idea he was back, still involved in the program in any way. But I've got to imagine that that's been both one, pretty cool for him, and also pretty cool for the other guys who are on this team who either played with him or knew of him when they committed to Loyola. So what has it been like having Clay still around the team in that fashion?
I mean, Clay's just the best, man. He's one of the toughest dudes, most competitive dudes that I ever got to coach so far early in my career. One of the best people, one of the best students. I mean, he's just an all-around great dude, man. And you know, his energy and his vibe is just so positive. It's so calming, you know, just like how he was as a player. I mean, he does the same thing for our staff. And he's got a great outlook, and he's been a great resource for our staff, and particularly coach, like on how, you know, players might be feeling about a certain situation, or, you know, might be, you know, reacting to certain things. So I think Clay's doing an excellent job in his role. You know, he's smashing it, you know, just like how, you know, he got every little bit out of the talent that he, you know, was given with his work ethic. I think he's doing the same thing as a coach, and Clay's definitely going to, you know, be a star in this business, man. It's just a matter of time until he's running his own program. And we, like you said, man, it's been honestly a blessing. And I think Clay's presence has been a huge key to our success this year.
What's his role for you guys this year?
So he's director of player development. So, you know, he does, you know, some video stuff, some academic stuff, and, you know, he doesn't really get to do much on the floor. But he, you know, helps out our staff and helps us, you know, stay organized. And, you know, he's a sounding board for Coach Moser on different things to look at on the floor. So Clay's just been, you know, he's been awesome to have around.
Well, I tell you what, if they ever need to get a couple guys from the staff to lace them up, you got a couple dudes that'll go get you.
That's a tough team.
Tough,
can Porter hoop?
He was good back in the day. He played at Creighton.
You know, okay, I do know he hooped back in the day, but do we still got it?
He can shoot still.
Okay.
Like, I mean, you see he's still in shape though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I bet if he really like tried and trained for like a month or two, like he could still play just because he's in such good shape. And then, you know, he can still shoot it. So he could probably, you know, shot fake it, get in the paint, kick it out, or he can probably knock down the three, man. You know.
I don't want to, you know, I know the film can't be released, but I have seen some practice film of Drew, and you know what I'm saying, with the big guard activities, he still got it.
Yes, sir, man. You know, I still got a little bit in the tank, man. You know, I chill, but you know, I gotta let him know every now and then what's up. You know?
Hey, still in the bag, still getting the duffel every now and then.
Still can do it.
The old heads, man. You have to.
Yeah, got to.
So I'm gonna ask the lazy question. I'm gonna ask it. I have to, and I'm sure you know it's coming. But if 2018 Loyola matched up with 2021 Loyola, how does that game go, and who are you siding with?
Well, I'm gonna give you the lazy answer as well, because I have to. If this team is playing late in March, I will come back on the podcast and I will do a 5-minute recap segment of my true feelings.
Love it.
Love that.
But until then, I got to go with the 2018 team.
Wow.
And, you know, until then.
Respect.
Mm-hmm. Wait, I do need to ask this though. Has Clayton been taking Baylor under his wing a little bit? So for y'all in the podcast out there, I got kind of a man hoop crush on Baylor Heb. Yeah. Oh, it's definitely a basketball man crush. I saw like some film of him like 3 years ago, and the reason he got filmed is because he was wearing ankle socks. But he was out there killing folks in the ankle socks. And, you know, in the hooping world, not a lot of people wear ankle socks. And usually if you see a dude wearing ankle socks, you're like, okay, this dude ain't really trying to hoop because he's wearing ankle socks. I'm sorry, G. I know you wear ankle socks, don't you? I'm sorry.
Look, now that I'm washed, I do. I didn't.
Okay, now I do. But so I seen some film of him a couple years ago, and he was killing dudes. And he's now a freshman at Loyola, and he's going to be a problem for years to come. So you heard it here first from me. But
sir.
you just watch out for the young Baylor.
Yes, sir. But yeah, Clay, Clay's taking him under his wing, trying to teach him the ropes a little bit. And, he sees he's got the 13 on. So, hopefully he'll be the next Rambler great to wear that 13.
13 not going in the rafters? Come on.
Hey, man, I don't decide that, man. You can't. Hey, man, you can't put that on me. I'm not the head honcho, so I don't get to decide that yet.
I'm gonna have to pull up on Porter or Sister Jean, whoever's running the show.
Whoever's running the rafters at Gentile.
Speaking of Sister Jean, okay, I'm sure people that are listening to this are familiar with Sister Jean. She was one of the greatest parts of that run from a fan's outside perspective. Just seems like an awesome woman, and leading you guys in prayer circles at whatever age over 100 she is. Her passion for Loyola basketball and these players was something that was super endearing to even the most casual of basketball fans during the 2018 run. And Sister Jean is, still going strong from my outside eye. What is her presence like, and what's it like being around the person behind Sister Jean?
Yeah, she's still going strong. I mean, she hasn't been able to, be as present, obviously with COVID and everything, but she still does her pregame prayer. She still sends out her emails to, the staff and the players. And before every game, we get her on the phone and we bring it up just like how we would, before she was on the wheelchair. Now she's just, she's via the phone. And she's a huge supporter and huge, person that's a part of our program that we love so much. And, she's just such a great person to, lean on in tough times. And, she's always there, giving you, scouting reports, about the other team. And it might not be as detailed as the ones that we do, but her feel for the game and, her passion for, studying those things is just crazy to me. And she loves the Ramblers. She loves basketball. And she's always so nice too, like just to everybody that, goes up to her, wants to take pictures with her, wants to meet her. She's just a great ambassador for the university and our program.
Definitely. I mean, that's just like one of the great things. And speaking of COVID, when COVID is over, everyone who is listening to this, next time you're in Chicago and everything, the restrictions are lifted and you can go to a game, go to a Loyola game. Like one of the best experiences out. First of all, the campus is fire. Like it's actually on the lake. The facility's crazy. Me and G been there before, hooped there before, busted G's ass in one-on-one there before.
Oh.
I did. I'm sorry. I did.
I was distracted because my man Braden Norris was at the other side of the court just going like 99 for 100.
Yeah, red shirt Braden was getting a workout in and literally just strapping from everywhere on the court. And I was like, okay, yeah, he's gonna be straight next year. But like the facility's crazy, the energy and the vibe in the arena is just like wild. Definitely recommend going to it next time you're in Chicago. Definitely a stop y'all got to make. It's a crazy environment. And I know it's different this year without fans. Cutouts for sure ain't the same. But the energy in the arena is crazy when that place is packed.
Yeah, man. We got a great atmosphere, man. I think the way that it's, kind of grown over the years, it's turned into a real home court advantage for us. And it's turned into, like you said, one of the hottest tickets in the city of Chicago. We feel like we've really built a brand, and a brand that, people really want to come support, and, a brand that people want to be a part of, because of the way that we do things the right way. And, our game day atmosphere is just, like you said, electric. We got some of the best fans, our student sections all, across, I think one of the best, especially at our level, one of the best, student sections in the country. They get after it, and, they fill up the arena, and it's just a crazy atmosphere for sure.
And they got fire gear. So for y'all, I mean,
yes,
G,
yes sir, G.
Hey, they got the fire gear. Hopefully, I know you already told me earlier in the year that the black jerseys aren't coming back, but the black jerseys are fire. But besides that,
hey, they came back for one game.
Man, those are fire.
Yes.
Like they got fire gear. You see, Drew's got the the little pull up with little hoodie action
Yeah,
going
little
on right
hoodie
now.
action,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they got the fire gear. So like I could say something bad, but I really can't even nitpick at it's fire all the way around.
Okay, so I want to end with this. I don't know if Carter has other questions. If he does, he can go last. But my last question for you is about moments. And Carter's going to laugh because Carter and I have talked about moments on our podcast this year. And Carter hates moments. He's just bad at them.
I don't hate moments.
You're bad at them, right? Like you can't celebrate little moments.
Yeah, I'm striving for greatness. I'm trying to reach the next. I'm ready to reach the next moment.
Okay, that's fair. Well, Drew Valentine has some of the greatest hits moments that I think any basketball coach could ever have. Just off the top of my head, since I've known you, you played against your brother in college. You coached on a staff when your brother made a Final Four run. You coached your own Final Four run that had its fair share of crazy moments, and I'm sure you have plenty more to come. But my question to you is, of all the special moments in your young coaching career, because it's crazy. I mean, you said it yourself, you're still young. Like you've got more moments than most coaches will have in their whole career. And here you are on the come up, already racking them up. What is the one that stands out as the top of the top to you as most special?
All right, I'm gonna give you a twofold. So number one is draft night with my brother. That's a basketball related one. I know it's not a college basketball one, but draft night with my brother, sitting in the green room, the whole thing. I mean, it's obviously once in a lifetime. So that, and then number two is it's gonna be a two-part. The first part is Dante Ingram hitting the game-winning shot in Dallas.
Special.
Round of 64. I mean, you grow up your whole life like we do. March Madness is the best. It's the best sporting event. It's the best time of the year.
Easily.
You grow up watching all these buzzer beaters, all of them. And for it to happen on a team that you're a part of, literally 2 feet in front of you, I blacked out for like 15 seconds. I ran across the court.
Hey, I was just about to say,
I was going crazy.
Everyone go watch the film and you'll see the whole Loyola team running across the court, and then you'll see Coach Drew in his suit running right with them across the court.
Like I was running around like by myself. I was just like, and then I had to remember like, oh, I'm a coach. I was like, all right. But it was insane. I mean, just the magnitude of that moment was just incredible. And then the next one, A1A and 1B from that year would be national anthem Final Four. I mean, just 75,000 people in San Antonio. You got the 4, different people from all the schools singing the national anthem. See my family across the court, and just realizing like, wow, like, all right, man, you might have did something in your life, like one of those aha moments where you're like, a little fulfilled. Obviously, like you said, striving for greatness still, without a doubt. But that was a moment where I sat, thought in the back of my head, like, yo, this is.
You were like, damn, I'm really in this bitch right
now.
Yeah,
for sure. So those 3, kind of the one that, top 2 moments, I guess you could say, basketball related.
Great answer. That's why there's a balance at the Sleepers podcast, because Cart's going to tell our guests and ourselves to just keep your head down. We don't care about this. And I'm going to make you pause and reflect and appreciate how cool that was. Because, I mean, shit, I wasn't even involved in it personally, but I'm watching that game, watching my team in a Final Four, playing my boy's team that he's coaching in the Final Four. Like, I'm never going to remember what it felt like watching that, feeling like I just couldn't lose.
No, the run was crazy. It's something that's going to live on forever. And G, you are right. I do have my own questions because we have Drew on here. For y'all don't know, Drew is a music and hip hop aficionado. And we have been talking some Drake on this broadcast, and we had Packy on here a couple episodes ago, and he said, Greg, what was his favorite album?
What did he?
I think he said Nothing Was the Same, if I remember listening.
I think it was either Nothing Was the Same or.
Oh no, he said.
If you're reading this, it's too late.
Yes, that's what it was. Okay, and his best song was Legend. Yep. So I need to ask you, best Drake album and best Drake song all time.
Oh my God.
I know it's tough.
All right. My favorite album is Take Care.
Okay, great choice.
That's the correct answer, by the way.
It's not the correct answer.
That's why me and Drew, we just get it, man.
I got faith that Drew's gonna say the right answer for best song.
And best song is Do Not Disturb.
Stop it. Stop it.
Let's go.
Hey,
Let's go.
man,
that's
I
just
need 40,000 people to see what I'm on.
Hey, come on, man. And if you ask me in another 3 weeks what the greatest song is, I'm gonna say 1A, Do Not Disturb, and 1B, Lemon Pepper Freestyle. Lemon Pepper Freestyle. If you haven't listened to that, man.
I gotta I wanted to say that, but I gotta let it sit for a little bit, sit on this for a second. But that Lemon Pepper Freestyle is just
It's typical Drake, man. What he said, drop a classic, they come back and say it's a sleeper.
Mm-hmm.
Greatest all time. Greg, it's okay, bro. Do Not Disturb is the best Drake song of all time. You can
No,
say
that's right. That answer right there was just proof that actually makes me very happy. It's proof that Drew listens to our podcast. That's awesome because he said that just to appease you, Cart. You know that.
Nah, man. Come on now.
Man,
but got pictures with me smiling though. Come on, that song is just straight heat.
What you want? You want to just spit it a cappella?
All right, hold up. All right, let me ask you guys, what's both of y'all's? Because I don't remember if you guys answered in that.
Greg, you want to go first?
Yeah, my favorite song is Too Much, without
Too
a doubt.
Much?
Yeah.
I mean, my favorite song.
Favorite album?
Take Care's favorite album, bar none, no question. I would accept Nothing Was the Same. Like that's a close second, but Take Care just a classic, man. Top to bottom, there's no skips.
No skips.
First of all, we could say there's no skips and classics about a lot of Drake's discography. I'm just saying, and there's a lot of people out there who try to downplay the GOAT, but let's not do that. But I say Nothing Was the Same personally. No shade to Take Care, but when Nothing Was the Same dropped, it was just at a different time in my life, man. I was a junior in college. It was just a great time. And it just went. The whole album was, man, just hit way too different. And Do Not Disturb, best song of all time. Easily.
All right, let me ask you this: what's your sleeper Drake album?
Views.
Hey, Views has grown on me as it's.
Yeah, I feel like Views has grown on a lot of people because a lot of people try to say Views wasn't good. Greg Waddell, you said that.
I'm not very high on Views. I'm not gonna lie, but Carter acts like I come in slandering Drake when I'm just like, yeah, it's not in my top half of Drake favorites.
Yeah.
The worst Drake album is still an incredible album.
Facts.
I wish I could go back and get the receipts, but
Greg,
when I played you that You With Me, you said it was garbage.
I don't no, You With Me's all right. There's some skips on Views.
Greg, what's your sleeper Drake album?
So I don't know if you guys will even count this as a sleeper album, but it's probably Thank Me Later. I think Thank Me Later still
for sure.
goes.
That's a sleeper for sure.
Yeah, that's a sleeper for sure.
People forget about that.
Yeah.
Man, we need to get Drake on here. I know it ain't happening, but somehow
we got to get him on here.
One day.
Hey, one day y'all will though, man, because y'all going crazy, man. Y'all going crazy. So one day y'all gonna get him on here for sure.
Hey, we can dream. We're just grinding. We learned that from you, Drew.
Sure.
All right, so March Madness quickly approaching. Please tune in, follow the Loyola Ramblers, root for them. You know Carter and I will be. Drew, where can people where do you even direct people to find and follow the Loyola program as fans from afar?
I would say just follow the Twitter and Instagram Ramblers MBB. Follow them, and then go from there. If you want to follow one of the coaches, me, one of the other coaches, or the players.
One of the best social media handles out, Coach Drew LU.
Yes, Sirski.
And also are the day-to-day vlogs coming back because those are fire. I believe Tom Welsh who did the first one?
Yeah, I think they got some more coming, and I think when we're I think they're gonna be putting out a lot of decent content, especially like you said, like vlog style stuff, like when we get there, because we're heading out early, so we're gonna have a lot of time in the hotels and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I need those. Tom was killing me.
up.
He was killing me on that episode.
With the Christmas tree still.
Still with the Christmas tree up.
Yeah, man. We got some
Hey, and hopefully we'll see you in Indy.
Man, hopefully, man. Hopefully, God willing, man. For sure.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, we appreciate you. Thank you for doing this, and good luck in March.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Brody.
Yes, sir.